Tonight on Travel the World TV, we have Andrew Reed here and
William
Shane Egan. Yes, quite a wonderful lad here. Anyway, tonight we are going to Hungary, this beautiful place here.
Actually, you're wrong. I'm wrong. We're going to Scotland.
No, we're going to Hungary.
Scotland.
Hungary.
Scotland.
Hungary.
Alright. Why don't we take turns going from both?
For both. So are you saying that I'll go to Hungary and then you go
To Scotland, but I will go first because Scotland is much cooler, as the Americans would say.
how?
Hey, look, I'll show you. This is Scotland. Scotland is located north of England, on the island of Great Britain, United Kingdom. With an area of 78,000 kilometers, including approximately 800 offshore islands, which is comparable to South Carolina in the United States, it is divided geographically into highlands, lowlands, and uplands. The fabled Scottish Highlands cover about 2/3 of the country. The Grampian Mountains are the chief range. Here, Ben Nevis, the highest mountain in the United Kingdom, rises to 1,343 whopping meters. Loch Lomond is the largest of Scotland's many beautiful lakes. The legend of the Loch Ness monster has persisted for hundreds of years.
Strange going
Rubbish
on.
scientific
Over
expeditions
1,000
have
people
tried to
insist they've
prove
seen
that
something in
Nessie
Loch Ness.
exists.
And yet when science is applied, like this expedition, what's going on? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You see that? There. Oh my.
Wow, just beautiful, brilliant. What do you say?
No. And now for something interesting. Hungary.
No, I'm fine, thank you.
I didn't ask you if you were hungry, you twit. Hungary. It's a country.
Right answer
Not like this
is
lake.
hungry.
Is what?
Hungry.
Hungry?
Yeah.
Like I'm
See,
hungry.
that's sad.
That's a
What
country?
really, Hungary is a country. It's
Now, I've heard of Turkey,
H-U-N-G-A-R-Y
Hungary,
versus
never heard of it.
the other one.
This is Budapest, the capital of Hungary. This is brilliant. The structures are amazing. And it's not like they had all of this in a silver platter either. Following the fall of Nazi Germany, Soviet troops occupied all of the country, and through their influence, Hungary gradually became a communist satellite state of the Soviet Union.
Now, David, there's another story you've been covering for us as well, the upcoming 50th anniversary of the Hungarian Revolution.
That's absolutely true, Rick. There are thousands of Northeast Ohioans of Hungarian descent, and it is their fight for freedom from communist rule 50 years ago that will be commemorated during a series of events that start Saturday. But all across Northeast Ohio, there are constant reminders of the courage it must have taken for ordinary Hungarian citizens to stand up against their oppressors. Take, for example, this flag with a hole in it. It's on display at the Hungarian Heritage Museum in downtown Cleveland. 50 years ago this month in Budapest, demonstrators took scissors to their national emblem and cut out the Soviet hammer and sickle that had appeared on the flag right after World War II. The museum has just opened an exhibit recalling the dramatic events of October 1956 when Hungarians tried to shake off the shackles of Soviet domination. And while that revolution would soon be crushed by Russian tanks, the flame of freedom was never snuffed out. I spoke with two Northeast Ohioans who marched with those protesters. Their stories give a personal insight into the reasons behind the revolution.
We lived a life with minimum food, minimum freedom, being taught to be secretive, not to tell anything about what I heard at home.
My father is up in the pulpit and the guy with a notepad in front of him in the pew is making notes.
There are all kinds of infamous stories of sometimes families informing on each other, but certainly old friends finding out that one of them was informing on the whole group.
Some flyers appeared on street corners, on telephone poles, calling us for a demonstration for 2 p.m. in the afternoon on October 23rd.
As soon as I went into school, I heard this whispered conversation about as soon as we leave school, we're going to go to the demonstration. And then, of course, when we marched out, and then I saw these tens of thousands of people singing and listening to poems and singing the national anthem. I mean, it was just the most uplifting and improbable and revolutionary feeling.
As we were marching, we saw people are bending out on the windows, on balconies, flags appeared. And during this walk, the whole was got already in the flag.
The Hungarian communists were totally taken by surprise. It was a huge demonstration, which basically the communist action turned into a revolution overnight when they fired into an unarmed crowd on the evening of the 23rd. So we woke to the 24th, and almost immediately there were tanks coming into the city. Picture 14, 16, 18-year-old kids with guns fighting against tanks, because that's exactly what it was.
The whole country became a nation all of a sudden. We did not see the consequences at this moment. They controlled practically everything, even your mind. They tried to climb into that. So you just blow up.
So after the first couple of tanks came through, and some of them were slowed down, and some of the first ones, the tank commanders or drivers got out of the tank, that's when the young people then would go and heave in a Molotov cocktail, which was a bottle with gasoline in it and either a piece of cloth or cotton that was lit.
Így jellemezhetjük színekben és dalcímekben az októberi tavaszban új március 15-ét ünneplő Budapestet. Ma délután hatalmas ifjúsági
The first dead body I saw was on the square, and that was just absolutely horrendous.
It was a totally mixed feeling. The joy and the price, what we pay for that.
My grandfather was very pessimistic from day one. He said there is no way that the Soviets will allow this to happen. You know, by the evening of the 3rd of November, there were rumors that yes, from the east, new columns of Russian tanks were heading toward the country.
You cannot suppress that freedom what everybody deserves.
Freedom is the aspiration, is the human aspiration that is shared by humankind the world over. And it certainly was the deepest hope and aspiration of Hungarians, and it certainly is of most Iraqis, I believe, and many others. And to the extent an American can understand that, I think there's very much a lesson to be drawn in this 50th anniversary year.
That small nation was the one who drove the first nail into the Soviet coffin.
And now, back to Scotland. July 1st, 1999, the Scottish Parliament was opened by Queen Elizabeth II, the first Scottish Parliament in 300 years. Scottish Parliament responsibilities include social work, services, health, local government and education. John Logie Baird was a Scottish engineer and inventor of the world's first working television system. although Baird's electromechanical system was eventually displaced by purely electronic systems, his color and cinema television work earned him a prominent place in television's inventions. Another prominent Scot was Alexander Fleming, who was a biologist and pharmacologist. Fleming published many articles on bacteriology, immunology, and chemotherapy. One of the greatest discoveries made by Alexander was penicillin, an antibiotic which has saved many, many lives.